Hello and welcome to the update video. I'll be bringing 3 games to the channel. I'm not too sure about one of them because I'm having a few little recording issues, but I'll tell you about that when we get to it. First one is Star Trek Online, as I said from the last video I did of Star Trek. I said leave a like if you want to see more, and you just did. So I've decided I'm going to do a Let's Play series of that. But I've decided I'll do a full science build. I'm not too sure about what Star Trek Online is. It's a massive multiplayer online game. They're role-playing and it's also a third-person shooter. It was released on PC originally back in 2010 and it was brought to Xbox and PS4 later this year in September. So yeah, it's a fairly old game, but it's fantastic. It's really good. I have it both on the Xbox and the PC. It's a really good game. So yeah, I'll be bringing that to the channel. I've recorded a few things of Star Trek just to make sure everything's fine and everything checks out. So that's fine as well. Also, those 3 games that I'm bringing. At the end of the video there's going to be a few little bits of gameplay from each one. Star Trek Online is set 30 years after Star Trek Nemesis. If you've ever seen the film, then you'll know what I'm on about. But anyway, there's lots of things to do in Star Trek Online. You've got 3 factions to choose from. You have the Federation, Romulans, or the Klingons. Or if you're playing the PC version, you also have the Agents of Yesterday DLC to play, which is set in the original series of Star Trek. So you have those 3 factions. With each one of those 3 factions there's over 125 missions, I think. And it just doesn't end there. The game is incredibly grindy. You have different reputations you can choose from. For example, I'm working on the Omega Task Force, which you level up from tier 1 to tier 5. Once you get to tier 5, that's the highest, and then you can start grabbing the gear, as it were. For example, you can go after the Borg set, which is what I'm going after. Go and do dilithium mining and other things as well. You also have PvE activities, which interlink you with other factions of the game, so you're not just playing with Federation or Romulans or anything like that. It links you in with other people from other factions, and this you can go out and attack Borg and things like that, and that will reward you with the marks that you need for whichever reputation it is that you're grinding for. There's only a few on the console versions, but the rest of it will come over from PC shortly, I hope. The next one is Star Wars Thrawn's Revenge. Now, Thrawn's Revenge is a total conversion mod for Star Wars Empire at War, Forces of Corruption, that was released in 2006. It's a real-time strategy. It also has single player and online, but single player is more fun, especially when you go for the Galactic Conquest. It also has skirmish as well. But inside that mod there is several factions you can choose from. You have the New Republic, Imperial Remnant, which is what's left of the Empire after the events of Episode 6. From destroying the Death Star and everything like that, and Vader dying and the Emperor dying. You have Imperial of the Hand, which Thrawn controls, and then there's 2 other factions, but I can't remember for the life of me what they're called. But it is a really good game. I use OBS to capture that gameplay. The audio is fine, but however, there's a little bit of a problem whenever I use fighters. The gameplay itself, whenever I'm just playing it naturally, not recording or whatever, just watching it naturally as I play, the fighters and everything are perfectly fine, but when I go back and watch the clips, the fighter icons are dotting about the map. Like, there's a little bit of lag, but there's no actual lag in the game, it's just the clips. So for that reason I'm not too sure if I should bring that to the channel or whatever, but I will let you all decide that when you see the gameplay at the end of the video. And finally we have Star Trek Legacy, which was released in 2006 on Windows and Xbox 360. It's a real-time tactics adventure game in space combat. You're sort of in third person. It has also single player and multiplayer, but I never bother with the multiplayer. I mainly play skirmish. The campaign is a little bit short for it, but it's fantastic. The mods, I only have 2 mods that I use for it. The first one is practically something that everybody that plays this game uses because it just makes it 1,000 times better, and that is Ultimate Universe, which adds in different ships from other factions. It adds new factions as well, such as the Dominion, the Terran Empire, and things like that. And then also you have 1,000 different ships to choose from as well, instead of just being listed to a few from each category and for each faction as well. Then the second one I've added in, which is the JJ Prize ships. So you get the Constitution, the Kelvin, the Reliant, a few things like that. And they're really handy and they're fantastic. I tend to play skirmish, and I usually tend to play that in the original series era, and it's just brilliant. It's one of my favourite games. I had that on the 360 in 2010, I believe, when I bought it. Been playing it ever since, but now I play it on the PC, and it's much better because, like I said, you can have a few mods. But that's not all the mods as well. You can have Star Wars mods and Star Wars factions, Star Wars maps, and things like that as well. And also from other sci-fis. But it is a really good game. I'm addicted to it. As in gameplay wise, it records the audio perfectly. Gameplay, it records that as well. But since the game is that old, there is a few little bits of freezing every now and then when you play it, and it only freezes for about a few seconds. Like at the most it will maybe freeze for about 5 seconds. Then also there's a bit of a frame rate drop as well, and a tiny bit of lag, but not much. Not much for it to affect the video or anything like that. But yeah, that's those 3 games that I may bring to the channel. Also, I will leave a list in the description of all the games I have, or listing on all those platforms as well, so you can go ahead and pick whichever one of them you'd like to see on the channel. Like, for example, want to see me play Skyrim, or even Fallout or something like that, say that in the comments. Then whichever platform you want to see it on, or if you're not bothered, don't list the platform. And then whatever you want me to do with that game, like a let's play series or mod review or something like that. Leave a like on the video, comment what you'd like to see, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.